We continue now with our developing story. We're running battles between Eldorado Park residents and police are continuing over the death of a teenager, Nathaniel Julius. Now, the community is accusing the police of killing the 16-year-old who was a teenager living with a disability. We do have our reporter on the ground, Malungelo Booi, who's been following and tracking the story for us. Malungelo, I see that you are in the midst of action right now. Where are you running to? What is happening?
So what we're seeing, Tammy, is that we're seeing police again pushing back these residents that have been protesting for a while now, about 4 hours or so, and they're firing rubber bullets in trying to make sure that they essentially go inside Hillbrow Flats. The Hillbrow Flats, that's where many of the residents that are currently protesting here are from, actually, and that's also where the incident happened. In fact, it happened, there's a white truck. That's where we're told, that's where the incident, where the 16-year-old was actually killed by the police. That's what residents are telling us. We've been seeing police throughout the morning and throughout the day, in fact, fighting with these residents, in fact, firing rubber bullets, and residents not letting down, pelting them with rocks and stones. And also, Tammy, I think it is important to say that over the past 20 minutes or so, we have seen a development where an official from IPID arrived here. Okay, here's another police Inyala going into that particular block of flats, and they're also firing rubber bullets. That's it. And earlier, Tammy, a police chopper was also deployed in this community as these running battles between the residents of Eldorado Park and the police continue. An official from IPID, Tammy, arrived here earlier and, of course, began a conversation with some of the residents, asking them, I think this is important, asking them not to fight with the police, not to pelt them with rocks, saying he is here to investigate the matter, to speak to the family, and as well as to speak to eyewitnesses, saying with residents fighting with the police and pelting them with rocks and stones, that in a way is making them as officials from IPID difficult to access the family and also to access some of the people, the eyewitnesses that saw that incident that occurred last night. And of course, residents telling us that they want the entire police force, or police service rather, I should say, removed in this particular area, and also accusing them really of failing to do their job. Instead of doing their job, they say that they're killing innocent civilians, unarmed civilians. And these residents saying that they want justice for Nathaniel Julius, a 16-year-old teenager who many residents here told us about how they loved this young boy and how they've accepted who he was. He had lived with this disability and he was one of their own, and saying that what is currently happening here is retaliation. And one of the residents, in fact, Tammy, had a placard that said child killer. They were showing that to the police who they say have killed one of their own.
Been able to get.
And of course, Tammy, what we're currently seeing here has been happening throughout the morning. Metro police officers and members of the police service, South African police service, joining hands really in trying to bring law and order in Eldorado Park. But residents are saying, well, the police are not dealing with criminals. They're not dealing with drug dealers. All they do is attack innocent residents. And of course, that has sparked a lot of anger.
How are you?
I'm very well.
While we're busy working, they're coming through, they're shooting, they shot my wife and my children. Through the window, in the house.
We're not outside.
We're in the house, they're starting to shoot, they shot my wife and my children. That is what's not right.
How are they now? How are they?
They're bleeding.
Look here.
They're bleeding.
Yeah.
I was out in the window, they shot, they looked at us, then they pulled a trigger. Twice. Which is not right.
Can we shoot back? Are we allowed to shoot back? Because I'm going to shoot back. I'm going to shoot back. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to shoot back.
That's the bullshit. So
I want to ask them.
No, sir.
I want to ask them.
Sir, okay. But violence is not the same.
But okay, what if my son got hurt?
We're walking, they're shooting. I'm going to shoot back. I'm going to retaliate.
There is babies in the house, my friend. Which is
It's self-defense.
Those people
Because we're not doing anything, they're shooting. I'm going to shoot back.
Make a commotion.
And I want to tell them in their faces that I'm going to be shooting back.
Oh. Okay. Tammy, emotions are really running high. This gentleman just told us that he was inside his property when the police allegedly fired. They shot into his house, and he's here now. He wants the police officer in charge.
I'm gonna start shooting back right now. They came to my house and we busy working. They shot my wife and my children. So I'm telling you, I'm gonna shoot back, and it's gonna be self-defense. Who gets the right to shoot whilst we're working? Ordinary South Africans are working. They shot my wife, they shot my brother-in-law and my child. Let them come back. I'm gonna shoot back. And I want everyone to come out, because when you're for right things, you can't come out. Look at you now. All of you are standing here. A bunch of morphs are standing here. But when the drugs are busy happening, people are dying. That child was shot last night. I was in the house. I saw what happened. They shot a child, a defenseless child. Now you can stand with R5s, R18s, whatever you want to call it. I'm asking you, come there. I want to shoot you. I want to show you I'm going to shoot you back. Who's going to replace me in my windows? And it's not a threat, it's a promise. I want you to come back now. I'm going to shoot you all. I'm telling you all. Yes, I'm going to patch Wi-Fi and I'm going to shoot back. I'm waiting for you.
Do it! That is corruption, what is happening here at Eldorado Park.
All right, Tammy. In fact, when that gentleman speak to some of the police officers that were here, the police officers immediately moved back. You can tell he's actually quite upset. Just like most residents in this particular community, people are angry. And he's angry because he's saying that he was inside his property when police shot at his loved ones.